Oh, yikes. Oh.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You
You
laugh too.
big old horn. All right. Okay. And a 5 and a 4 and a 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to A Man's Journey. I'm Christopher Valona.
I'm secondhand Steve.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Welcome.
I'm welcome. You're welcome. So tonight's topic, because I told Steve I would surprise him,
Yay.
is going to be men's friendships. Men need friends, right?
Everyone needs friends.
We all need friends. Don't be Lucy, because I need that one show. Do you ever watch I Love Lucy? Friends of the Friendless. Yeah, I know I'm dating myself.
I'll go even further back.
Oh, okay.
So at the very end of It's a Wonderful Life,
Ah,
he opens a Christmas card, and in it, an angel writes this to him. It says, "If a man has one friend, he is not a failure." So if you judge yourself by how many friends you have, it's one way to see how wealthy you really are.
ah. I always subscribe to the notion that if you have 5 good friends on one hand, you'll be set for life.
If you got 5 good friends, then yeah, you've done very well. 5 people that you can count on.
Trust.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Someone was saying they were like 3 paychecks away from being homeless, and I said, "How many friends are you away from being homeless?"
Ouch. That's a good question. I mean, how many people would actually help somebody,
And you find out who your friends are, huh?
right? All right. So tonight we're talking about obviously men's friendships, how to build and maintain deeper friendships by dealing with loneliness and community support. That's kind of, encryptic, as they would say. Cryptic, not in. I'm tired.
You make up all the words you want. I'm here for you. That's what friends do.
I'm
See?
just doing word salad because that's the the vibe of the day.
You get the Scrabble letters and you throw them on the ground and mix stuff up. That's fine.
Don't mind us. All right. So, what does it take to be a friend? Because in this arena, as caregivers go,
Okay.
it is really hard to maintain friendships. I, for one, have struggled. Honestly, I thank God I live with another adult because that's my friend, that's my girlfriend. But outside of this job or this position, I have maybe less than 5 friends that I can count. And I'll be honest with you, I have driven them away. I have talked them away. I have emotionally betrayed them. I have beat them up. I have spit them out. I have basically worn them out. So I really don't blame them for leaving so much, but it's hard. It's hard because this is a crazy thing. It's not like we're so like emotionally tied to our caregiving, but it's a lot, especially if you're a parent or if you're a sibling or a grandparent. It's hard to be friends with people in this space. And hopefully we're going to talk about that tonight. And if you have any comments, just put them down there in the chat and we'll try to get to you as soon as possible. And also don't forget to tell your friends and family about this 6 o'clock Pacific California time, A Man's Journey on YouTube. And of course, if you miss any part of this, you can just copy and paste this and send this to your friends. I don't know how many times I send Steve a bunch of stuff. Do you get my stuff, Steve?
I do. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Because you can watch it again.
Can't afford Christmas gifts? You send them our link.
Send them the links.
Let them know you care.
Well,
they'll appreciate it.
Right. So having a friendship, I have to say that before I had children, I had a lot of friends. And then post diagnosis of my son Sebastian, my friends just got less and less
Your world gets smaller
and less,
and
and
smaller and
yeah.
smaller.
It was really awkward for me to understand why these friends of 20, 30 years, my best man, bounced, after dealing with a few horrible days in the hospital, and we were going through a lot of transitions with Sebastian. You would think that those people would just stick it out with you and support you, but what I've found over the last 20 years now is that people just can't do this. People will fail you, people will disappoint you, and I used to have a lot of anger and resentment about those issues, but a lot
Some
less.
people aren't wired to deal with something like this. And
It's
you
a,
get to find out pretty quick who is and who isn't.
and this is weird because Steve is talking about it because Steven's children are healthy, but he married into a family that had an autistic
Yes,
man,
severely autistic,
violent,
nonverbal, violent.
violent. So
It could be violent.
so Steve's not one of those parents that were forced into parenting his own, child, but he actually married into it, and from all I can see, is he did a pretty good job.
My whole crazy life prepared me for it in some way or another. It's amazing. You find out as you get maybe a little bit older, a little more experience, what you can do and what you can't do. And if you want to start a relationship with someone and they have a child with special needs, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to see, because this is a part of the picture. This isn't something you're going to deal with now and then. This is full time. So can you cut it or not? And you
Right.
need to be honest with the other person too.
Yeah.
And how do you know if you can do it? You find out the hard way by immersion, by getting in there. And because what you think you can do might be different than what you can actually do. What you can handle emotionally, what you think you can handle emotionally might be different than what you can really handle emotionally and mentally. So
I get angry. I'm known to be called Angry Chris, not only in this group, but in a lot of other groups, because I wear my emotions on my sleeve and my heart on the outside of my chest, and I have great expectations of others, and I'm working on that. I'm actually doing a lot of writing about my anger and resentment and my expectations, because as they say, if you don't grow, you got to go. And since I can't go, I have to figure out how to change a little bit. So
did I ever tell you about my best friend I grew up with, Paul?
let me tell you about my best friend.
So grew up on the same street.
You know that song?
Oh, Eddie, the Courtship of Eddie's Father.
There you go.
Classic.
Right. Okay.
So
Sorry,
he was the best man at my first two weddings. And then when I was getting ready to get married a third time, I figured I shouldn't use him because he's probably the common denominator why, the other two marriages didn't work out. No?
No.
Okay, so
Wait. Say it again. Say it again. For the people in the back.
it had nothing to do with it.
Right.
It was all me.
Ooh.
And one thing I could tell you, I value friendships differently today. And the people I call friend are of a much different quality than what I would call friend before. And this is something you have to find for yourself. And I find that a man only needs a few friends. I mean, you got some good people behind you, just a couple. And what an advantage it'll give you in life. It really will. Now, if you want everyone to be your friend, you've already lost.
Well, I wouldn't say that we've lost as much as that we're learning who is our friend.
Right.
And it's not like we're putting people through this test of being in the rare giver space or in the rare disease space or in the special needs space. I mean, we all need friends, and men are different than women. Okay, let's just go there.
Do tell.
Okay, so we don't. It's men don't. How should I say this without getting banned? Men
Think carefully, very carefully.
We as men, we don't bond over drama. We really don't. We don't complain as much as women. We don't share a whole bunch of inside stuff. We just basically, men just tell it how it is and we knock it out, and then we grab a beer and we just work it out like that, so we don't like prolong this need of being heard and stuff like that. So women in this space, they have this ability to have a lot of friends, whether it's in the same disease category here in town or across the world. It's crazy how they bond a lot better, because I think men.
They do cooperation better than competition. We're mostly about competition.
Yeah, but also we are introverts. We are not as vulnerable as women. The women are just everything's out in the open.
That's because they're superior as far as how they handle things. We're still in the sandbox, if you want to get honest.
Cavemen. Yeah.
Troglodytes, exactly.
Right.
Back in the cave,
Fire. Fire. Good. Fire. Eat. So that's the thing, and I'm not. No offense, I'm not trying to say that one species is better than the other, but women definitely do it better than men, and they basically have a tremendous tribe. Men are very like succinct, like Steve was saying. We're very small, and it's hard. It's hard to maintain those small relationships too, because men just don't want to get into that emotional issue or that problem of your issues with your child or your sibling or your father and stuff like that. It's definitely different.
For me, it seems like men are the only ones that need to be told that asking for help is a form of intelligence. And it seems like the women automatically know how to take care of business and cut through the pride and the ego and everything that keeps me not wanting to let someone else know what I'm going through.
Well, that's society. We were taught, Steve, that we can't share our emotions as men.
We were brought up with the like the John Wayne, you never express emotion.
I was thinking more
or weakness.
The rifleman. The rifleman.
Chuck Connors, you're going back.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. Luke, his son. Paw. You just all you hear that off camera.
But it's the same thing, like that becomes a role, that becomes an act to live up to. Just like anything else,
Yeah.
it's where no one ever meets who you are. They meet the guy who thinks he has to be tough and that he has to know all the answers and that can do everything. And there's no reality in that. And one thing about, when you're dealing with someone with a rare disease, you are confronted with reality on a daily basis.
But I think we do have all the answers in our category.
Which is?
Total knowledge of the situation.
Actually, do you know the difference between knowledge and understanding?
No, Stephen, I'm sure you're going to tell us.
I can memorize a cookbook. Does that make me a good cook?
Wait, what?
Just so that people at home don't lose context,
Where's
he's talking to someone right now.
They're on. Okay, sorry. Sebastian needs his tattoos. 1 second. They're in next to the television. Underneath, there's a drawer. Where are you going? Okay. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. They're in the drawer now. Of course, we need tattoos because that's the most important thing. See, men are simple. Just need a tattoo. I'm sorry, Steve. What were you saying?
I have no idea.
Sorry. Right.
Another thing men don't have is attention. We fall short in so many areas. Yeah, we think we have everything.
Oh, that's right. I was talking about superiority.
Well, we're talking about knowledge as compared.
Yes, tell me again, what is the knowledge, the difference between knowledge and understanding?
Okay, so if I memorize a cookbook, does that make me a good cook?
No.
Why not?
Because you still suck.
What do I lack? What haven't I got yet?
A lot.
Experience. I've got to burn stuff. I've got to cook. I've got to add ingredients. I got to mix things together, and I've got to by that experience come to an understanding.
Ratatouille. Yes. Ratatouille.
But you could read a book on how to play chess, and let's say you had a photographic memory and you memorized it. Does that make you a good chess player?
Maybe.
Until you have the experience, no. Then you're just dealing with knowledge. That's the difference between knowledge and understanding.
Well, then how do you explain Bobby Fischer?
He was a natural.
Really?
His mind.
No books, no teaching.
He It's like he came into this world with that knowledge already in him.
I see. Well, I don't know how to
Or a
play.
child prodigy with an instrument.
I don't know how to play chess, so I can't really comment on that.
Well, but you're quick to drop a Bobby Fischer reference.
Well, who doesn't know Bobby Fischer?
A lot of people.
Put that in the chat. I'm going to turn off this camera, this other camera. I'm sure you guys can hear the reverb on my phone here. So, disarm. All right. Now, back to having friends. Would you consider us friends?
Yes.
How do we become friends?
When I started understanding you.
Well, that makes one of us.
So you're a father
Yeah,
with a son
yeah,
who's got a rare disease.
yes,
Who, any moment you don't know what's going to happen.
that's true.
You've been through the ringer.
Maybe.
You've experienced suffering on a level that only a parent with a child with a rare disease would even come close to understanding.
I would agree.
And all these experiences have made you what you are right now.
Angry.
Well, again, this is all you can use is the tools you have to cope with what you have.
What do they call that? Miserable, angry, discontent, hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
All of them.
Yeah,
And you get to find out who you are.
yeah.
See, you want to find out who a man is? Watch him lose a poker hand to a good hand. Watch him lose a golf game. Watch him get in a car accident that's not his fault. And then you'll find out what you're dealing with. Everything else is pretty much the show. That, congenial, happy-go-lucky.
I lost a lot of golf games and I didn't get angry.
Some people lose their mind, and you get to find out who has a temper.
I had horrible car accidents. I didn't lose my mind. What was the other one? Oh, poker. I don't play poker. I played blackjack.
And you know what? No, you want to know the reason why you don't lose your mind during horrible events? Childhood trauma. It's prepared us for. See, we do earthquakes, fires, and floods beautifully because I fall in the same category as Chris. And then I'll see a dead dog on the side of the road in the gutter, and I can't stop crying. And I don't know when it's going to hit, and I don't know when it's going to overtake me, because I don't get to choose my emotions. It's the age-old question: do I have emotions, or do emotions have me?
I saw this dead cat in the street when I was going to the meeting this morning. I swear to God, I've never seen that cat before, but it would just. I got really solemn for about 4 or 5 minutes, and that the welling in your eyes before you cry, because I know that somebody's missing their cat. He's not my cat. I give two shits, but obviously I did. It's crazy how men's emotions come out of nowhere. Maybe it's because they're just so stuffed down, and then finally the dam breaks.
We were not taught how to deal with them.
Well, then I guess we weren't taught how to become friends.
See, we were taught how to deal with a black eye and a fat lip. But
Yes.
you break my heart, it's too much. Statistically, ready for morbid statistics?
Sure.
When men commit suicide with a pistol,
Mhm.
they'll put it in the head because that's the problem.
Yeah.
That voice in the head, this is the problem.
Mhm.
If a woman were to do the same thing with a gun and call any hospital and ask them, this is statistically, I read this, they point it to the heart because that's the source of their pain.
Mhm.
And that's, again, we're two different creatures altogether. We come at life through a different part of our functioning.
Mhm. Interesting.
We are an interesting species. We're basically mammals. Have you figured that one out? We're talking monkeys, human beings. But we also have this spark of the divine in us. That's why we're a human being. It's, we're an apex predator, but there's some animals can do that we can't do. We lost somewhere. If a tsunami is coming to the Philippines, the animals on that island will just head towards high ground and get out of the way. They sense the natural events of the earth and the planet. We've lost that. We've lost our touch with everything.
Wait a minute. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos with people going to higher ground, Steve.
Yeah, after the warning. But they didn't get the warning from their own sense inside of them. Their intuition.
Are you saying the animals are one with the land?
I'm saying they're intuitive. They're at one with the totality of everything. My dog has never wanted to be a horse. My cat has never wanted to be a lion. They don't even know what they are. They're just perfect as they are.
This guy's got a great cat.
I got the best cat in the world,
Marty.
Marty. Named after Marty Robbins, in the El Paso song.
I thought it was from Back to the Future, but he always corrects me.
If it helps you remember my cat's name is Marty, then you use that.
Well, but then there's also the German Shepherd, which is just
Rosie,
awesome.
neurotic. I got the most neurotic
That
German
dog
Shepherd.
walks on eggshells, man.
She's scared of Marty.
Oh my God, it's the best scene ever. Marty's got the cone of shame because he had some sort of
He got fixed.
Oh, there you go. Lost the nuts.
So 2 weeks in the cone.
Just the shame.
It was horrible watching him bump into stuff. It was like watching a little drunk cat.
When I went over there one afternoon, and that cat ran that household with the other dogs.
Fearless from day one.
Hilarious. Marty the cat got a house full of love.
You know, if you want to learn about love, maybe you start with animals. The more reciprocating.
What about plants? We're supposed to like see if we can take care of a plant and it doesn't die, then we move on to the children. Then the animals and then the kids.
Or you learn how to take care of all of it. And maybe you find out that that's what we're supposed to do.
I thought we were just supposed to learn how to take care of ourselves.
Well, once we learn how to do that, then we can use what we've learned to help others.
I can't. I need help.
No? Done? All done?
Yeah, I tapping out. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't be on this show if I didn't want to show you my empathy and my love and my patience, my hope, honor, and heal.
Your humility.
Yeah, that too. Working on that other H word. HE double hockey sticks. But
hey, you kiss your mom with that mouth?
yes, I wish I could kiss her. She's all the way out there in beautiful Temecula. I did speak to her this weekend. She made me laugh. That girl, I tell you, she's got an amazing spirit. It's the Irish. So friendships, just in general, are hard, right?
They require maintenance. This idea that, oh, we're buddies. We went to elementary school together. I've known them, 30, 40, 50 years. Still requires maintenance. It still requires respect. It still requires, there's actions to take and things to do. I got friends that I can pick up, after seeing them for 10 years, and we pick up right where we left off. It's a real friend. When you're back together, it's amazing. Like time hasn't even passed. But when you're working, in the same environment and you're actively together, then there's things to do. But everyone needs friends, because we are not meant to be alone.
Do you like bubbles?
Maybe not in the same way you do.
Bubbles are great. They're a great stress reliever. I got this for Halloween. It's better than chocolate.
I watched a video once of those the sticks with the big, giant, huge bubbles, and this guy's at the beach.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the thing's like 100 meters long.
Yeah. I don't know how they stay. It's a lot of soap, he said.
And then I saw the video, and I don't ever have to do that again.
You don't.
I thought it was fascinating, and the rainbows and the colors, and then you watch it pop, and it just the way it implodes on itself.
I just don't think Steve likes bubbles. Is it too messy? Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, you're a tactile kind of guy.
Very, very OCD's kicking. I see bubbles.
I always thought that friendships were difficult because people judge us inside those relationships. Constantly judge it because they know the inside cheap shit, right? They know those secrets and they're always judging.
A real friend already sees your warts. A real friend already sees your flaws, already sees you have clay feet, and that who you are is who you are. And they're there anyway.
But then there are people who take advantage of that.
Well, they're not friends.
Well, they pretend to be. And then the walls go up.
And you need some discernment.
No more friends. Because we don't want to get screwed over again.
That says a lot about ourselves too, though.
Well, of course it does. Of course it does. How do you build back that trust with that friend that took advantage of you? Let's say it's a long-term friend. Let's say it's that childhood friend in the sandbox that went to elementary, that went to junior high, that went to high school, that went to college, that went to your wedding, and he was there for your divorce and all that, but then all of a sudden he takes advantage of you.
then you realize, you really never were friends. You just were in the same place at the same time with the same people. You never, what was his favorite color? Did he prefer warm climate or cold climate? What was his favorite food?
I know all that stuff about this guy, all of it, because I paid attention. Because I actually loved him like a brother.
And did he pay attention to you?
No. In the end, the true colors were there.
True colors always come out.
But in this world, I don't have time for that crap. I firmly believe this. I don't chase relationships, period. And that includes family. That includes my lovers, friends, family. I don't chase relationships. I have the rule of three. The rule of three is this. If you send out some sort of a message, whether it's an email, voicemail, or text message, and you don't get anything back within 3 days, it's over. And I don't care if you're busy or you're working. The only thing I'll accept is if there was an accident, you're in the hospital. And for me, that saves my soul, it saves my spirit, it saves my emotional trauma. It was a great exercise that I learned. It's worked very well.
So you're, and I'm just speaking my mind here.
Yeah.
You're coming from a place of experience to not get hurt and to find out who's in it for real. And so you've come up with some ways to do that.
I would have to say that in the beginning, it's fun and exciting, but then you start to learn about their character traits.
Well,
Yeah.
how long, let's say you get into a new relationship.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. How long before you really know that person?
I'm just talking about friends.
Even friends, how long do does it take? Some people, again, they just meet each other for the first time and they have that deja vu, like we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
Those are some excellent, outstanding relationships, can be.
Sure.
But for the most part, a lot of us maybe don't have that or access to that.
We all have access to it, Steve. The person's in front of you.
What if you're on an island alone?
Oh God, you're not on an island. We're talking about in the city or at your son's baseball game with the other friends and family members and the other parents. Yeah, it's hard, man. You know how hard it is to have relationships at 50 something. It's not like you're forced by your parents to go into the classroom anymore. When you're sitting there with K through 6, then you have to be at the same school. You have to see these people over and over again. You make these decisions as you become an adult, who you're going to hang out with. And I've learned that in the early years, it was cool. And then it wasn't cool as I became a teenager because I was a dork and fat, geeky kid with a bunch of pimples. And then in college, I lost the weight. And then I learned that I didn't really need friends. I just wanted people to hang with. And then in my adulthood, into my marriage, I just wanted somebody to talk to. Now, mind you, what you guys don't know about me is I got sober in 1996. I was 26 years young, and I had not been married yet. So there was this transition for me where all of my friends were at the bar, right? Those are the people that I drank with. So not having that ability, I should say, not making those choices and going to the bar and getting loaded every day, I had to find new friends. And that was difficult. It was difficult in my 20s and 30s. I found solace in that other group, Alcoholics Anonymous. So what I found was that it's almost like a comparison. Those people that I drank with when I got sober, they never wanted to be around me. There was a couple of hanger-oners.
Well, the common reason you were there in the first place, all of a sudden you stopped doing.
Right. And then when I got married, a lot of my single friends said, adios, we hate your wife. So it's just like, okay, I'm going to choose my wife, obviously, right? And then when I got divorced, some of those people came around. But then when we had this horrible diagnosis, it seemed that everybody just said, nope, it was too much. So establishing new friends later in life has been a blessing and a curse. I have a lot of experience of sniffing out the BS. And I also have been blessed with, I don't need your approval anymore. I don't seek your approval anymore. I don't need you to be my friend. I would like to be friends. I would like to have a relationship, but I don't need as much as I thought I once did. But it's a very lonely space being in rare giving. Rare giving space is very lonely. I'm glad that you said we're friends because I couldn't just deal with it if Steve said nope. I'm just here for a paycheck.
No,
But does any of that resonate with you, Steve? Do you feel that anyway?
it does, and I think that's all part of the process too.
Yeah.
And where you are now is going to change.
Uh,
And it always changes. Everything passes.
It's
Everything's
exhausting.
temporary.
It's exhausting.
But we're here maybe to learn the lesson. Maybe if I learn the lesson, I won't have to repeat it. Because if you keep trying to make friends, you keep getting burned.
Yeah.
You have to change something. If you keep doing, the reason they couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together is if they put him back together exactly the same, he would have got on the wall every night and fell, and it would have just repeated itself again and again and again. Something has to be different. So if something goes bad in friendship, learn from it, grow from it, use it to evolve. Don't just be the victim. Don't get into self-pity. Why me? I don't have any friends. No one likes me. Then you're not going to attract anything of any kind of quality as far as a friend. And the old saying is, you want a friend, be friendly. And if you want to be a good friend, learn how to become a great friend first.
What about we want to treat? How does that sentence go? Oh yeah, treat those how you want to be treated.
That's old, ancient, and
Want some
wise.
salt?
What do you got?
Salt.
I hope that's what it is.
Salt by Highlands. You too can get your salt here at Highlands. It's not our sponsor. We're taking sponsors.
Salts. Look into them. It's pretty interesting what they do for you.
I got a lot of salt. Well, I'm emotionally drained after that little speech. Is that a cry for help?
It's I don't know.
But
I don't know.
those of you who are watching me and you know me for years, you know that I'm just this way. I try to like make light of a heavy situation, but underneath all this bravado and fat and weight is somebody with a heart, somebody who understands, somebody who can get you through it, because I've been through it. And it's hard to maintain relationships because I guess I'm not willing to do a lot of the work anymore. Like I would like to have a guy meet me halfway and
You shouldn't have to do all the work. That's ridiculous.
I mean, there should be some reciprocation.
As soon as you even sense it's like it's just me doing everything, get out.
Yeah, I mean, where's my steak dinner?
And you don't have to amputate. You just have to stop doing anything and watch it just follow a way of itself.
Yeah, like we'll just leave you on red, as the youngins say.
And then when someone needs something, and then all of a sudden you get a call, then you see what's happening, crystal clear.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. I'm wondering if anybody is wanting to talk about what it takes to be a friend. Anyone at all?
Who are you talking to, Chris?
I'm talking to our followers, secondhand Steve. I mean,
And what would you like them to do?
I would like them to put some things in the chat so we can talk to them. Right? No, that's what you sent me.
It's hard to have an exchange with people if they don't want to have an exchange. So,
Right.
And the only way I found to really find out who you are and make a change is to have an exchange with someone else. Because it's amazing. Some people can see our blind spots that we can't see.
Right.
Some people have experience and we can learn. You can learn from anyone. And if you're teachable, you can learn from a rock. It doesn't matter. If you're really wanting to change and grow and do your life maybe a little different, have a different quality to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's there for you if you want it.
There's somebody in the chat.
Yeah, outstanding. Welcome.
Chris Villana. He says, I love you guys.
Appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
There we are. Look at that. I love you guys.
That made your night, didn't it, Chris?
It did because I'm not afraid.
Chris works very hard at trying to advocate for his son, trying to advocate for Raregivers, trying to make things happen and be active in his son's life and his son's disease, and to have someone reciprocate with that. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Self. Nice. But it's not all bad. It's not all bad. I mean, I have Steve. I haven't.
You could do better.
Yes. Well, I was just getting to that. There's a couple other guys I've talked to after I talked to Steve, because when I talk to Steve, I just kind of go, Jesus.
That's my job. I'm doing my job. I'm here to remind people a coin has three sides. I'm here to remind people that Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster. Because we always think things are different than they are.
Mm.
And I'm here to remind you to call things by their right name. If you get paid till 5 p.m. and you leave early, what's that called? Leaving early? No, it's stealing. I have to learn how to call things by their right name.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
I want you to remember that Willy Wonka, the original, he wasn't the mad scientist. He was seeking kindness. So he may have been a jerk in that whole movie, but at the end.
But that was the whole point. That was his test.
Charlie, you won. I've been waiting for you.
Yes. But he had to be proved and tested.
Yeah.
And that's what maybe life is. If I think of life as a school, and every lesson is custom tailored for my growth and your growth, and so my lessons are going to be different than your lessons based on our experience and everything, then I'm going to start using those lessons. I'm not going to. One of the greatest words I ever heard was stepping stone, because it comes from an ancient saying that we turn our stumbling blocks into stepping stones. So the things we used to trip over and fall over, the things that kept us from growing, are the things we actually use now to go a little higher. And it's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And so I can use my experience I know how to blow friendships. You know, I know how to not be there for people. I know how to disappoint. I did all of it. And I'm still probably capable of that. I'm aware of that.
Well, sometimes it's called for. It's called distancing.
And sometimes that's necessary.
That's right. I agree. I think we're gonna cut off Steve from the fizzy lifting drinks. That
They need to be rolled to the blueberry rolling room.
need to be squeezed.
Best part of that movie was a kid falls in the chocolate river. And Wonka, he's so sadistic. If you watch that movie as an adult, and he's like, oh no, don't fall in. Oh, that's horrible. And the whole time he knows the kid's going in.
Oh my God.
A lot of movies you watch as an adult that you loved as a kid, not the same movie.
Not the same movie.
That's because something's changed in you. We've grown.
I think we see it differently. What was once funny is now just like, wow, that's just crazy.
Well, a different person, a completely different person is watching that movie again.
Steve, do you know how to build community?
It starts with cooperation. And the first cooperation is within yourself.
Yeah.
See, human beings are the only thing that can be torn. You know, I have an apple in one hand, and I know mentally it's good for me. It's got fiber, it's got nutrition, it's healthy, it's got everything the body needs. And on the other hand, I have a Twinkie. Now that's emotional. Something in me wants it because it tastes good. It's going to give me some comfort. Who do you think wins every single time? The Twinkie wins because it's emotional.
Well, if you juice the apple, then that's bad for you too.
Yeah, it's a big hit of fructose for the system, and
yeah, so
it triggers everything. Cortisol.
So then it's the Twinkie.
Twinkie win. Well, the emotions win.
The Twinkie wins though. Nutrition. Who knew? Who knew? I mean, that Twinkie is still alive. You know, from 1960, for sure. The preservatives inside the.
So as we learn and grow and evolve, we don't make choices. Hopefully, based on I want that and I want it now. Wasn't that's another Willy Wonka reference, right? I want an Oompa Loompa and I want it now.
Oh, the new version. I'll have you, the squirrel. Oh no, you won't. I'm not going to take this call from Bakersfield. Let's put that in voicemail. Sorry about that.
So making friends starts with who's in front of you, and if that person is someone you want to be friends with. So how do you engage that, Christopher?
I want to build a community of friendships, a community of men, right? I don't know how to do that because there's still parts of me that need a lot of work. So I'm that, funny, happy-go-lucky guy who that's that's great, Steve. Who basically extends the hand and invites you over, but then you don't show up and then my feelings get hurt. So I'm not going to invite people over next time. I'm trying to not do that anymore because I can't really build a community of one.
You can't come from lack.
Lack?
Lack.
What does that mean?
So you get hurt.
That's me.
And then you develop ways to not get hurt again.
Get angry.
Again, your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so what I have to do is something different. And I have to find ways to be different. And it starts with maybe seeing how I am in the first place. What is it about me that's maybe not appealing, or maybe I don't even know that I rub people the wrong way by how I present myself or the things that come out of my mouth.
Oh yeah.
So I can say something and it feels like a pebble dropping, but the person who hears it, it feels like a boulder dropping. And even though we're speaking English, it's a whole different, they're hearing something different than what I'm saying. So there's your communication.
I hear it completely different every time I talk to this guy. No offense. So building a community. What I'm hearing is it takes a lot of patience.
Well, let's get back to the no offense real quick. That's an interesting one.
Okay.
How do you offend someone that can't be offended?
Are you saying you're unoffendable?
What is there in me to be offended by?
I don't know. Ego, pride, lust, hate.
What if you've worked on those to the point where you realize they're in you, but they're not you? And that when you can't offend someone.
I said that just as in, what do we use that for in modern day English?
Right, we say that before we say something offensive to the
I think
buffer.
you say it afterwards. Yeah. No offense.
But if you really, when you meet someone, well, here, let me give an example.
Okay.
I always thought I was a good listener
Really?
until I met someone who was a good listener. And then I realized I got a lot of work to do. I don't got nothing compared to this person.
I got nothing.
And to be a friend, if you want to find out how to be a good friend, go to someone with a lot of friends and ask them. Be that brave. Have 30 seconds of unadulterated courage to approach another human being and go, listen, you seem to have a lot of friends. I don't. How did you do it?
Well, then you have to be ready to hear the harsh truth about how that person sees you.
Do it.
And I don't think a lot of us are ready for that because then.
Be ready for that. Do it.
Pride, ego.
Because you can also do that with, you have all this money and you seem to be doing real well. How did you do it? Are you anything? Pick anything. You're really good at this job and I just started. How did you get here? Is there anything you can and start looking at people because we really deep down, every human being wants to help another person.
That's true.
We love being helpful.
I think so. Well, some of us like to keep them down.
Well, if we're not coming from arrogance or pride,
you're trying
or
to protect,
I'm better than.
You're protecting their job status, their money status, their friendship status.
Still, the quality people, the good people, they understand. The best chef understands that he has to give away his best recipe. Let that sink in. See, that's what makes him the best chef.
Is that Gordon?
He doesn't hold anything back. He's of service to those he's feeding and making food for.
I don't think that the top people in the world give away all their secrets. They won't stay on the top forever.
I think those people aren't the people on top that you might be thinking of.
I think they're scared.
I think the ones that do give everything away are the people that make the difference.
I think they're scared.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, because I can't give it away because I'll lose it and then I won't be on top.
See, and that's coming from lack. I have this. This is mine. No one's going to get the secret recipe, What a horrible way to live.
Dude, channel for me your George Carlin, please. That's my stuff. Say it.
I got drawers at home. Hold my stuff. I need more stuff. I love that routine. It's just stuff.
you don't know who we're talking about, you millennials out there, and you crusty people, Google George Carlin, by one of the most honest comedians of my lifetime, passed away.
The truth is, he wasn't a comedian. He was a
Probably.
philosopher who happened to be funny.
Probably murdered because of his views, but
Well, in the same category of, he was in, Bill Hicks was in the same category
yeah,
and died an early death. The one comedian alive today that speaks his mind, Doug Stanhope. Surprised he's still alive. Wonderful comedian.
Bill Maher too,
Yeah, and
canceled and then reborn.
they speak from a place different from most. They're not taking the party line.
They're not taking the party line. That's going back to like when we had telephone cords. 70s, baby.
I got all the old references, not all.
Well, it's because you're old. But we run out of time, secondhand.
We have.
So if you've learned anything on how to be a friend, I would be surprised.
And if you don't have a friend, we'll be your friends. We'll help you however we can.
The friends of the friendless. I love Lucy. And I do love Lucy. I know it's probably, just Google it.
Vita Veg Vitamin.
That's the best. The candy one too. Who could not? And Ricky. Ricky's the best. No. Fred Mertz, another great guy. Ugh, the best. Another grumpy guy. All right. I think we're done being friends. So if you have any questions or comments, please reach out to us here on the channel. If you need any further questions or comments, you can reach out to me directly. My email, which I just got up again. If you were trying to email me before, that's back up. So you can reach out to me at, here's my new email, men@raregivers.global. Okay. So it's like
men@raregivers.global.
Right. So we're not .net or .org, it's .global, and it's not caregivers, it's raregivers. So men@raregivers.global. That's the email. I put a test to you, internet. Spam me so I know it works. Okay. I really enjoyed talking to my friend today.
Likewise.
Secondhand Steve. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. That'll be our second weekend to November. Hope you had a lot of candy. I hope you're was successful for what just happened.
Halloween.
Thank you.
And until next week, try to listen to someone until they're empty and see how you do and let us know.
I'm empty. Thank you for listening. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Not bad.
Great.